afternoon, everybody. Here we are, 24th of June. And my goodness, what a busy day it's been already. Gosh. Yeah, it's been quite an expensive morning, if I'm honest, because I had to go to the opticians because Finley, my lovely little new pooch, has decided to eat my glasses. So one is completely damaged, one set, and the other set I can wear, but it's scratching me behind the ears because he's taken the ends off and he's got a few teeth marks around the top. So it's a case that my eyesight's fine, it's the same as normal, but unfortunately my glasses are not. So yes, they did tut at me. They're like, you should put them safe. I didn't even realise. He like runs behind the back of me and takes them from off the top of my head. It's really funny. And then runs like a good one. And trust me, a gazelle couldn't keep up with him. So, okay, what have I got today? I've got a pink tile and I've inked it. And I know there's some of you out there that ask the question all the time, how do you ink it? And I have done a few in the past, but I thought it'd be a nice opportunity to just sort of go through it once more and show you exactly how I do it. So I'm going to put that to one side because that's kind of what I'm aiming for. Now, having an inked background isn't just about making the background look interesting. But if you've got a background and you think, oh, it's a bit rough, it's not smooth enough, backgrounds are brilliant. So here we go. I've got same tile what I started with. I've got something to cover around, and I'm going to use one ink pad, and I've got my brush. Everybody's different, and doesn't matter what ink you use. This depends what I've got to hand. I do like quite a few different ones, and everybody has their preference. The first thing is you don't want to. If you put your fingers on, it's fine, but you find your fingerprints when you've got ink. It'll show up in the ink. So all I'm doing, look, plenty of ink on. And I'm going to work my way around the edge. Now, because I've done this for quite a while, you see how I'm going pretty quick. I'm not messing about. I'm going over and over. So I'm not stopping. I'm just going to continue inking. And sometimes I think this is something that, if you're not so sure that you don't do. See, I'm going to put my four fingers on now gently. Is you sort of do a bit, you think it's not working. So you stop. And let's put my little nails at there. If you actually keep going, you see how it starts to blend? I think if you stop a little bit too early, that's when you get problems. Okay, so I'm not going to go all the way in the middle because you see that's where I'm holding it. So it's not looking too bad, that. It's pretty good. But sometimes you get swirls and things. Add a bit more ink and then, of course, you can just water it. So that's how that's done. A little bit of elbow grease on it. So here you go. I've got my stencil here. I'm not going to put any more ink on here. Well, I'm going to choose a little bit of it. There we go. And then I'm going to come back in. Putting a little bit more pressure on it now, but I just want to sort of give it a little bit of something to go with there. There you go. Pretty much what I've got on the other stencil. But what you can also do, and I do this a lot, I've got some water in a spritzer. Okay, and I've got some salt. Now this, look. Regular table salt. There are other supermarkets available, but that's what I'm going to use, okay? So another thing, sometimes if you're kind of new to this, you think, oh, I'll just do a bit of a spritz and that's fine. No, you've got to go for it. The tile paper will take it, see? So I've kind of really gone for it there. You see it starts to bend a bit, and I'm going to take a bit of salt whilst it's wet. Here we go, let's have a look. See, just regular salt and sprinkle it over the top. And then the plan is that you have to leave it to dry. Don't try and speed the process up. You've got to completely leave it to dry. So I'm going to move that to one side. If it's dried off by the time we've finished our tile, I'll sort of show you progress. But that's dry, and of course I've rubbed all the salt off. So that's good to go. So hopefully that helps a few of you out there to get that going, and you'll give it a go and, ink your tile a little bit. But here we go. I'm going to start with pencil, just lightly, because I don't want to see these lines when I've finished. And what I want to do is put myself a bit of a sort of a shape in the middle here. And now I know some of you out there, oh, it's got to be in the middle. No, it doesn't. It doesn't have to be in the middle at all. And let's have a look. It's about, there you go, it's not too far. So just over 3 centimetres if you really need to know. So that's kind of that. And I want to split this into 3. So I'm going to come this way. I'm going to sort of put my pencil in there, look, and in there. So I've got 3. Okay. Deep breath. See, all the inking's done. We're over that. we can work on what we've got here. So let's go in and have a little look, shall we? Okay, are we ready? All right, next little bit then. I'm going to start at the top, and just to help a little bit, let's put a bit of a line down the middle, just so we're sort of working, you know, in centre-ish. Hi there, everybody. Okay, I hope we're all had a watch of Helen there, very supportive of her. She did a great job. She's yeah, she's doing really well. Very calming, don't you think? So, okay, I'm going to start then with, I want to do a bit of a shape here, but I want to sort of come down and round, you see, sort of forming a bit of a curve. So I'm going to imagine it, and then when I'm comfortable with it, I'm going to put it in. Okay? So let's have a look at where that curve starts and stops. Because what I want to do is the same thing here. Now, you never get exactly the same thing when you do it again. You might want to try it this way and see if that helps, but please don't expect it to be the same because we're not tracing it. It's just done by eye. So don't worry if it's a little bit different. There we go. Okay. Whew. That's not too bad. Got that sorted. So let's have a look. I'm going to come from slightly higher up now. Lynn, yes, you will find sometimes. I mean, let me have a feel. You can get a little bit there. You can actually, let's have a look. Get yourself, you know, a nail file flat and just rub a little bit across it. But it's kind of part of it. But you can, it will come off. It will come off, and you fine liners will take it. So don't worry about it. Okay, so I'm going to put another one in here. There you go. So look, always imagining. And same again, like always imagining where it's going to go first. There we are. All right. Hi, Jackie. It's been a busy day for you too. Oh, do you know what? We do appreciate it though. You know, we love bringing you new products, but without you out there, we wouldn't have a business. So we appreciate it. We really do. Okay, so see this one? It's kind of joined there, so I've got this sort of odd shape going on. Okay, happy with them. All right, just move out a little bit so you can see that. So I'm going to come in with pen, and now I'm happy with them. As I say, I'm going to draw them in. There's one. Right, into another one. Same again. All right, turning it round. So follow it back up. Trying to do it if I can in one sort of motion. So I felt a little bit of resistance with the salt there, but you know, you just take your pen off and ease it around a little bit. Okay. Oh, that's good, Lynn. Yeah, he's always going to get a little bit. Sometimes it's nice to actually, you know, have that little bit of sparkle from the salt on it. Oh, Jackie, we're so sorry. We're so sorry for your loss. We can give you a little bit of a breather. Yeah, we're with you there. I'm with you. Okay, so we've got this shape. So I'm going to come on the inside here, and I'm going to create like a sort of a follow-on, an inner frame, so to speak, of this shape here. And into that one. So we've got that. Let's put one of those little teardrops in the middle there. And I'm going to follow that curve all the way up here. You see, it's got a bit of a curve in it. And same here, bit of a curve. All the way up. You see how that's going? And along. Okay, so we've got that. So I'm going to do something similar in this one. Now, again, sort of follow the shape round. I'm going to use that vertical line. So, to give me that centre point. And I'm going to do the same with the bottom. So I'm going to come from that point this time. And it's going to come round like this. And then another one here. So it's sort of kind of higher up. And then again, let's put that shape in. And let's fill these in. All right. Okay. All along. And then same this way. See how that's sort of... I find one side better or easier to do than the other. It's weird, isn't it? Maybe this time I'm going to turn it around and see how I feel. So there's that one. Okay, I'm going to turn it around and see how I feel about this then. See, that still feels a bit weird. I'm not going to lie. That's okay. Curves, curves, curves. All sorted there. That's all good. Okay. All right. Let's have a look then. Let's go into the next one. So I'm going to make another frame here. And again, it's got that little bit of a kink at the bottom. I'm sort of looking this side, giving myself a similar sort of space. Another one. And I'm going to do one more on that top edge. Okay. So let's have a look at this first one that we've got going on here. So I'm going to come in with that shape, like that. And if I do on that side, like that. And then I'm going to work my way down. So it's going to go slightly underneath that last one, you see? Slightly underneath the last one, so. Not worried if it doesn't match in the middle, but sort of going to fill the space in, doing these shapes. So let's have a look, got 4 going on there, look. 4 there. So at the bottom here, I'm going to put another one of those. And then all the little gaps, I'm going to fill in with a bit of ink. You could, of course, fill them with bubbles, if you want to. Yeah, see, so that's going to go up through that one, and into that one there. Okay. It does make a difference, doesn't it, if you've got an ink tile in the background. It just means you've got something already there to work with. Doesn't feel like a blank piece of cardstock, does it? Oh, it does look a bit necklace, doesn't it? I'm going to put little lines in the middle. See how I've curved it slightly, so that's quite straight, and then curve it round. Gives it a bit of interest there, and a couple of flicks top and bottom of that one. Okay, so I'm going to put some little flicks in this one too. Right, and I'm going to do the same in this one. Sort of always coming from that point up, look. There we go. Okay, let's have a look at this next bit then. Put myself, I want to have another line coming from here, so let's have a look. I'm going to sort of imagine about, I don't know, 1/2 centimetre and then another. And this side I'm going to do the same, but I know that that's not in the middle, so I'm not worried about that. Because then I'm going to take this curve into there, and this curve into the same point, like that. Turn it round, and again, look, so I'm going to imagine this because, let's have a look. There you go. And of course, you can actually do this if you want to, in pencil, if you wanted to first. So far, so good. Okay. So next little bit then, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put myself a letter C there across those 2 bits. Let's go in a little bit there. And then I'm going to come back again, do the same thing, look, double it up. And I'm going to fill this in. So on this side, same thing, but I'm going to go backwards. So I've got kind of a mirror image. Another one, see, quite close. And then along, and there you go, in we go. Okay, I think we'll do another one of those. It's going to be a little bit wider up here, look, one like this, then back on itself. I'm going to fill it in. Same this side, I'm going to sort of come up and back on itself and fill it in. Okay, there you go. So we've got that. So looking at the next little bit of space here, let's have a look. I want to put in another space or another shape here, and I'm going to sort of come sort of in and around. Shall we do this in pencil just so we can be sure? So let's have a look. If I imagine about halfway there, it always helps. Like that. I'm going to do the same on the other side, so let's do that because that helps too. And then I'm going to come round from this point, round and down, so it joins. You see like that? Same here, look. So I've got that kind of shape. All right. Once you're happy, and pen. Oh, I know, Jackie. It's easy. When I say it's easy, if you do a few little bits like this, it's nice, but I always like to draw curves, and we've done a couple of little grid kind of ones at the moment, haven't we? But we did do a few curves. See, we've got that. Okay. So I'm going to turn it round now because this is how I find it easy to draw, but again, it's up to you. Because I've already got my pencil line there. So I'm going to do another one. Same shape, same point, it's just come back there and it's started. You see where I'd got my pencil line there? So I'm using that space, I'm staying within that constraint, and I've got that shape. Okay, get another one in. So again, I'm going to sort of bring it up a little bit further. I'm still going to come back to that point. What you can do if you want is you can imagine that line so you know where you're starting and stopping. I can work from there. So I'm getting something similar like that. Okay. Well, this time I'm going to do another one, but I don't want to go right to that point now. See, I've gone slightly further up, slightly further up. So same here, look, slightly further up, so I'm not going back to the point. And again, I've got that shape. Okay, so I'm going to choose this one here, this second one on both sides. And again, you know that kind of a leaf shape? I'm going to put those in. Again, like sort of putting them behind each other. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see if I can get 5 in here as well. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Again, you could pencil them in if you want to, but it's a little bit of straightforward one, that, but what, you know, whatever. Sometimes, you know, some always find things more difficult than others, so but that one should be okay. And again, look, I'm going to put those lines in, just slightly curving it as I go. So I'll get one in the top there, slightly curving it, like so. All right, it's looking nice, isn't it? Okay, so let's have a look at the bottom one then. Bring it out. Now I'm not going to I want to sort of start at this point, and what I'm going to do is come in. So I've got like, I don't know, imagine halfway here, put a little mark. Let's do the same here, about halfway. And then again, I'm going to bring a curve round like that, and another curve round like that. Okay, then just to sort of finish it off, so imagine halfway there. So I'm going to sort of do a whole shape like that, part way, curve. Okay, so far so good. And looking at these little shapes as well, do you know they look almost, you know, if we put that a little V in there, they look like flip-flops. Just saying, just putting it out there, so you're never gonna see anything else now. Yeah, they could be leaves or they could be flip-flops. Right, you've not got your flip-flops on today, have you? It's not as warm, but that's okay. You know, we take the weather as it comes. And it's still a bit warm, isn't it? It's just a bit odd today, we think. I thought it was not quite warm enough going out earlier with just a t-shirt, but it was too hot with a little hoodie on. So it's sort of in the middle, isn't it? Wow, in the middle. There you are. Okay. So that gives us that. So it's quite an unusual shape, that, isn't it? It's really nice, but unusual. So let's get rid of those pencil lines now. I don't want them. That just shows we've been working within constraints, but we don't want to do that. We're just going to sort of have that shape coming off. Okay. So Let's bring in, yes, have a look. I'm going to put a bubble there. I'm going to keep it within that line because I can still sort of see it a little bit. Same on that one, fill in the gap. All right. And from these little C's, now if you want to, you can use a straight line to help you first. So let's have a look. How would you do that? Line up the edge of your ruler. Okay. Oh, Jackie's got hers on. You know, I don't actually own a pair of flip-flops. I never find it, I don't know, it's just one of them things. I don't like the bit between my toes. I know it's a bit weird, but I don't. There you go. So I've got my lines. Let's have a look at this. You see, it's nice and straight. So you can leave them straight if you want to, or you can do a little bit of a wobble. Now I'm just going to try and move my hand out of the way a little bit. So let's have a look. Wobble. Like that, see, and then just sort of give it a bit of a gap, a few dots. So I'm putting these in, but I don't want them to all be the same length. You see? So I'm not going to look at that side because I don't want it to be the same, if that makes sense. I want them to be different. But see, having that vertical line just makes it a little bit easier. Oh, Joanne, I'm glad, because I thought it was just me. It's not just me. No, I don't know why. Don't know. I've tried them and they're just not for me. A little bit like the other ones. What are the other ones? Crocs. No, I can't do Crocs. They're supposed to be very comfortable though, aren't they? I just can't bring myself to buy a pair. I don't know. Are you pro Croc or not? Oh gosh, 5 years. That's a long time for a pair of shoes, isn't it? Okay, so I'm going to do a few more. There we go. And let's put some smaller ones on. Let's do one there, look, and I'll get one in. Yeah. Oh, see, so there's not just me, it doesn't like Crocs. Oh, Wendy, I think that's it, yeah. Flip-flops, no. I don't mind sandals, I could do sandals. Yeah, see, Viv, oh, see, Susan, yeah, Crocs. I don't know, you're not convincing me, Susan. You're not convincing me. I mean, I know you can, you can add little, like, sparkly bits and things on there, but I don't know, is that a bit of a gimmick just to make you wear them? Don't know. I don't know. Oh, dear, aren't we a funny lot, really? Yeah, we are. Okay, let's have a look at this. All right. I'm going to bring some shading in first, I think, today, and then we'll see where we go from there. So, inward pencil, and I think where we've got these little stripe shapes, let's go a little bit bigger. I'm going to put some pencil in. Have a look. So let's do a little bit there, not too sort of far, because Skechers Crocs, Debbie, do say more. Are they more comfortable? Are they more stylish? Or they still look like Crocs? I don't know, is it because of the material that I have an aversion? Don't know. Oh, I know, maybe maybe we should, you know, we should have a test run. I don't know. And get some and see, I don't know. I think I'd have to go like to a shop and try them on, but that would mean going out in public and trying them. All right, so I'm doing all my... See, I don't know all these things. I tend to stick with what I know. Skechers are really good. I do like Skechers. Not all of them are as comfy as I'd like, though. See, we're on a starting now. We're on a roll of a whinge about shoes. All right, so looking at these little sort of leaf shapes or flip-flops. See, let's put a little bit there, look. And then I'm going to go in with a V, like that. Okay. A little bit there, look. And then in with that. Okay. Chris, what even is jelly? Didn't jelly shoes used to make your feet sweat? I don't know. I don't know. They were like, gosh. Didn't they they were like clear, weren't they? You could get them. Different colour and glitter ones. Oh, Oh, do they live? That's interesting. I find if I wear them too long, they start to, my feet start to ache. More on top. I know that sounds dead weird. But, you know, I used to wear them. Used to go to Disney Paris with a load of kids every year. You were on your feet all day. So I used to wear them all day then. That was fine. So, of course, as we're, you know, whinging about shoes and footwear, I'm still adding penciling, still shading away. Top and bottom there. I hope you've been keeping up. All right, to that bit. At least we're not talking about food. Shoes is something different for us. So, not a problem. Oh, I know that's the thing, isn't it? I've got some lovely shoes. Well, I don't get a chance to wear them all. Right, oh, do I want to do it? Yeah, I'm going to leave that one. I'm going to shade this one. So I'm going to go around that edge there, like that. Okay, and I'm also going to do these. A little bit across here, look. And that one. Into that one. Okay. And then I'm going to go, let's have a look, around the outer edge there. Let's give that a little bit of shadow. Okay. See, same on this side. All right. There you go. And into there. I'm going to go up and along there, but just on that side there. Okay. All right, let's get our tortillon out, and we'll start at the top, work my way down. So let's do that one. A little bit of softness there. And then let's do a little bit here. Don't want to fill the whole bit up. I just want to do a little bit, giving it some shadow. Same with these, just very gently adding a touch of shadow underneath there. Oh, when do you know? Yeah, high heels. God, I haven't worn a pair of high heels in a long time. There's no need, is there? If you don't need to, why do it? Although I do like them, I've got quite a few. A regular choice used to be my things. I've got some unusual ones, but because I've only got small feet, they worked. Okay. See, a little bit there as well. Just gently easing it into the distance there. Let's do this bit. Okay, same on that side. And then around the edge. And along that one. Okay, so into these little bits now. I'm going to go down this side, I think, and then work my way back up the other side. Again, try and leave a gap if you can in between there. And then, of course, back into this sort of shadow effect there. Oh, hi Sam. We were just having a bit of a whinge about shoes, really. Or just, you know, pet hates and things. And the fact that it's cost me a fortune today at the opticians because Finley's at my glasses. They'll last me, they'll be fine. But, you know, I've got to wait, I think, about 3 weeks for my new ones to come. Same prescription, nothing wrong with my eyes again. I say nothing wrong. I'm all right as long as I drive with glasses on. Without glasses, bit of a difference. So, little monster. But he just looks at you, he's so adorable. And he knows he's doing something he shouldn't because he wags his tail and runs away. And you have to then trade him for a treat. I don't know. Benji looks on in horror. My poor little Sheltie. He's so placid and so lovely. And then I've got this sort of crazy cockapoo running amok. I think our house is like bedlam. All right, let's have a little look at this. Okay, so far so good. I'm liking that. It's going to bring a bit of my white pencil in. And this is chalk. You because it allows me to blend, and it'll also go over things that a normal white pencil won't. Do you know what though? He won't eat anybody else's. He leaves John's glasses alone, but he goes for mine. He's actually been known to sort of. We've got quite a wide sort of bit of sofa at the back, and he walks along there, and he comes along, nicks them off my head, and then runs like a gazelle. Give a little bit of white look. See how the difference that is now. Okay, a little bit in the middles there. Same in that one. Okay, that's coming out. Okay, I'm going to go across there, look. And across there. And anywhere sort of where I've left a bit of a gap, see. Any little bits there, if you can. Now, I've not touched those middle sections yet. I know, I've not forgotten them. Let's do a little bit of white in the middle of those too. I know, Wendy, he's so adorable. He just looks at you with those big eyes. Mummy, I wanted them. Okay, so I'm going to bring my black pencil in. Let's have a look. Here we go. A black pencil. And you see where we've got these lines here? I'm going to come in with a little bit of a darker blend there. Sort of on both sides. They're not going to blend with the Tortillon, of course, so I'm going over the top with the, there you go, with the black. So wherever I've used the heavier graphite, I'm going over now with my black. Okay. So far, so good. So the next bit. This would look really nice. You know, you could actually do a mirror image of this, couldn't you, and have a longer piece. Perhaps make a little boot mark or something. A bit over there, look. And then what I want to do is, again, in here, look, come down there so it's a bit darker on both sides. It makes a difference, doesn't it? But the thing is, you've got to know when to stop, because if you do it on everything, it starts to look a bit too much. So I'm just going up the top there, look, a little bit in there. Okay. So, being that I'm on pink, I'm going to bring my pinks out, and I'm going to bring my regular white pencil, okay? So let's have a look what I've got here. So I've got, here we go, mid-rose, light rose, and I've got my white. So if I start with my darkest, I'm just going to move out a little bit so you can see, because I'm going to do everything at once. I'm going to choose a side. Lovely this, isn't it? Look at this. So actually, this side, look, has got a darker pink ink. So usually I'd go dark that side, but I'm going to go with the ink, and I'm going to add some there. Now, you see, I'm not going to add loads and try and do it heavy. Let's see, go back in, hang on a minute. See, you can still see it's a little bit scruffy. So I'm going to repeat it there, look. And then here, I'm going to add some on there. And then all of these, I'm going to add a little bit on the same side where I've put the darkness. Okay, a little bit at the bottom there as well. So I know when colouring it looks hard. I'm going to do that. Or you think, oh, it takes ages. Really, it doesn't. It's just a case of following the process, isn't it? All right, light rose. So let's bring a bit of this in. See, going to swirls in that because it's quite big. So I've covered the majority of that in now. I'm going to go around the edge. See, so I've gone around the edge there, quite close. All here, I've left that bit there. So same sort of thing here, look. Left a bit. I'm going to take that into there because it's sort of going into that white pencil there. I know, Sam. I know, Sam. Only for this tile. See, little bits there. It's just sometimes, it's just where it goes, isn't it? I think it's just helping because that's where the dark was. Okay, so I'm going to go with my mid-rose again. Going to bring some of that back. Let's sort of add a little bit up there, look, and swirl it in. Maybe, you know, because I've gone right-handed, you should all go left-handed this time. What do you think? So add a little bit more up there, look. Just to prove you can. Yeah. Back to the lighter pink. Okay. one. So you see, it's not taking a massive amount of time. I want a little bit more in there, look. All right, let's bring the white in. So this is where you're now swirling. And you can kind of go, you know, start to work on all of it really. It's almost working and then burnishing it, isn't it? I'm not going all the way to the edge though. I'm not going all the way to the dark. I'm putting a bit in. I'm going to go over where I did that white earlier. That's fine. Okay, and then a little bit sort of on the ends. A little bit on those dots. All right, let's take one more. So coming back in with the dark. So, you know, although we're putting layers on and we're building it up, it's not taking a massive amount of time. You can spend all day if you wanted to, and you can keep building layers and layers and layers. But we don't kind of have that much time, but it shows that you can work with it. And you can get a decent result, not much time there. Okay. All right, back to the lighter pink. So you're just sort of working it now in swirls, helping to sort of work it into that white a bit. You don't need all of it completely white there. A little bit in there, look. Okay. Bring the white back. Swirl it round. Same in that bit. See? And just to finish it off, I'm just going to put a bit more white in there. I'm going to bring in a darker colour. Usually I bring in purple gem, but on this occasion, let's change it up a little bit. I'm going to bring in, here you go, oh wait, claret. There it is. Edith, these are all coloured pencils. These are wax pencils I'm using here. This, the grey, that's my pencil, that's monochrome. 2B pencil. But this is, the rest of it's, the colour bit's a coloured pencil. Okay, so you see adding a little bit of darkness around those edges. Let's do a little bit in there. You see, it's not too much. You don't want to kind of start to have to go through the process again, but you want a little bit of darkness there. So look at the difference that's made there. All right. I'm just going to bring the white gel pen in. I'm just going to check it works. And see where you've got this darkness here. It's going to add a little bit of white in. Just over the top. Just sort of little highlights there. Not too much. There we go. Okay, one more thing. Because we've put a bit of shadow in the back here, I think it's only fitting we do a little bit of shadow on these two. So let's bring that in a little bit. Okay, I don't think it's going to hurt to put a bit more in there either, look. All right. And sometimes you have to sort of see the whole thing and build it up. A little bit in there, look. Let's just tortillon that out. Okay. Okay, just giving it a little bit more there. And there. So, okay, I'm going to come in this side. I'm going to add a little bit, like so. All right. A little bit up the top there. There you go, a little bit. And on this side, I'm going to do it this side. So it's going to sort of hide itself in there. Just a little bit. And tortillon. Nice and gentle. You're almost wanting to sort of get it to disappear in the background. So you see I've not done pencil all the way up there. There's enough graphite on that tortillon to deal with that if you want to. Just ease it off as it goes up, see. Ease it off. Okay, let's have a little look at this. That's better. Look, see, we've got a little bit something behind now. So it sort of looks... Just going to focus a little bit more on those at the front. But they're sort of hanging. I think almost just going to soften that a little bit around that edge. And along that one. And then I'm going to come back in. Let's use my 2B. With a little bit more. And a little bit more. Okay. And a little bit more there. Okay. All right, I think, you know, I think it needs to go in there a little bit as well. See? Because it sort of falls in there. I think that's okay. You could say you could go on for a few hours with this, but I'm going to leave it there. Look at that. Again, imagine doing 2 of these, putting them together. That'd look pretty cool, wouldn't it? Or if you just did that bit. There's a few little options with this. So a little bit of enjoyment. And see, look, my inking, although you've got that kind of a flecked feel, you know, with that there, it's not taking away from the whole tile. But just before I go, let's have a look at the inked tile and see what's happened to it, shall we? Just so that we can see where it's going. Okay, let's have a look. There it is. So it still feels a little bit, just a little bit damp. But you can see, look, it's actually given me a bit of a mottled feel, you see? So it's a little bit damp still, but if I get rid of the salt bits, I say it still feels a little bit damp. But it's worked, you know, and once that's dry, look, you've got those little flecks going on. So, there you go. So, have a go at it. Have a go at, you know, inking. I know it's a bit weird for some. Try with a lighter ink if you're finding it a little bit tricky. A lighter ink first, just use one and see how you get on with it. And it does make a difference, it really does. So, hopefully that's give you plenty of information, lots of help and assistance. And with that in mind, I'll, leave you to it. Okay, everybody, so have a good one, enjoy, and we'll see how it goes. All right. Okay, take care. Bye.